Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
State officials say one of the buildings evacuated during Friday night's fire in downtown Hazard was not even supposed to be occupied. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox has more on what we've learned and how some tenants are reacting.
Several people were evacuated from the Treehouse building during a fire that happened within feet from the structure. WYMT received confirmation from state officials that people were not supposed to be living in the building prior to the fire. Now some tenants are wondering why Carter Realty and Associates, which owns the building, was renting out spaces there.
I'm really upset about it because you could have told me, and I was pretty vulnerable in the time of moving in because I didn't have anywhere to go. So I'm just really hurt about it because they had plenty of opportunities to tell me.
Tenants say they were not notified about the stop work order on the door, but instead the landlord said they didn't have anything to worry about.
When I signed my lease, he told me that if any fire marshals were to come and bother me, just to slam the door in the face, he would take care of it, but if I were to let them in, that we would all be evicted.
Barger says they were not allowed to enter through the front door, but rather a way she says was difficult to get through.
He took the fire escape in the back. Was our only way in, our only way out.
Although the building was evacuated on June 9th, Barger says that landlord Brian Carter told them it is still safe.
He has went on to say that we can still live there, to ignore any of the officials, and that, I mean, we could just live there still, and that nothing's wrong with it.
Unless a firefighter is with her, Barger says she does not plan to re-enter the building. In Hazard, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Now to read a portion of landlord Brian Carter of Carter Realty and Associates' statement to WYMT that we received a short time ago, you can go to this story on WYMT.com. We now know 2 people are dead following a crash earlier this week in Pike County. It happened Monday night on East Shelbyana Road near the Miller Bridge in Pikeville. 2 vehicles were involved. 61-year-old Robin Cheney and 51-year-old Anthony Epling, both of Pikeville, were killed in the crash. We are told one vehicle crossed the center line and hit the other one. A deadly crash in Clark County in Winchester this week is still under investigation. 2-year-old Thomas Reed died at UK Hospital. Reed was a passenger in a vehicle that left the roadway and struck a plank fence. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says alcohol and speed appear to both be factors in the crash.
Life so short as it is, for it to be taken that way is just horrible.
People really need to think before they get on the road to drink.
Thomas has been described as always laughing with a smile on his face. Although he was very young, he touched the lives of many people in the community. One person was flown to a hospital after a late-night crash in Wayne County. Monticello police say it happened at the intersection of North Main Street and East Highway 90. Police say the 2 cars collided, causing one to overturn. A passenger in the overturned car was flown to the hospital. The driver of the other vehicle was also taken to the hospital to be treated. A former mayor of Williamsburg has died. Paul Estes served the city of Williamsburg for more than 21 years as mayor and a city councilman. His visitation is tomorrow at First Baptist Church in Williamsburg from 3 till 5 p.m. A funeral will follow at the church. In lieu of flowers, the family has asked for donations to be made to First Baptist Church Williamsburg or the University of the Cumberlands. Estes was 91 years old. A report published by Governor Andy Beshear's office says drug overdose deaths in Kentucky have declined for the first time since 2018. The 2022 overdose fatality report says more than 2,100 people in Kentucky died from drug overdoses last year, but that's a decline of more than 5% from 2021. 90% of those deaths involved opioids, with fentanyl accounting for most of those. Meth was also one of the more prevalent drugs leading to overdose deaths. The Associated Press says Kentucky is one of just 8 states to see a decrease in overdose deaths.
A hazy but sunny look out there at this point in time, as many of us are dealing with warm temperatures and sunshine. but also a return of some of that Canadian wildfire smoke. There's the view from London Corbin Airport, where it's a nice afternoon. It feels pretty nice out there, but low 80s for temperatures at the moment. But we're also seeing some of that wildfire smoke. Upper 70s, Prestonsburg, Pikeville, 80 in Grundy. We're in those low to mid 80s. Look at 86 in Monticello. Remains a toasty one in Wayne County along the shores of Lake Cumberland. Into the low 60s, I should say, for dew points. So it's starting to feel a little muggier out there. We had a couple of storms pop up along and just east of our counties in southwest Virginia. That's all we've seen today. It's actually been pretty nice. Your forecast first through the evening. We'll continue to see those temperatures go from 80 at 7 o'clock down into the upper 60s and eventually the mid 60s as we head into the 1 o'clock time frame. But I don't think we're done with showers in the next 7 days yet. The details on that in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thanks. State leaders are commemorating World Elder Abuse Awareness Day at the state capitol. Leaders planted purple flags on the Capitol grounds to raise awareness about the issue. Mary Crowley Schmidt has devoted the past 38 years to caring for seniors in the Bluegrass region. She says people often think of child abuse, but not elders, who can be just as vulnerable. Crowley Schmidt says abuse can often come in many forms, from physical, financial, or sexual exploitation.
These people a lot of times don't have a voice of their own, so we have to be their voice.
Kentucky law requires you to report instances of elder abuse and neglect. Officials say you can call the state's abuse hotline. We have that number there on the bottom of your screen. You can also reach out to your local law enforcement agencies. Stacker.com says one eastern Kentucky county continues to have the highest unemployment rate in Kentucky. Magoffin County's unemployment rate was more than 9% back in March. Some other counties in the coverage area in the top 10 were Breathitt, Martin, Johnson, and Leslie. Statewide unemployment is 3.7%. One eastern Kentucky city has been awarded funding from FEMA to fix a dam leak. WIMT's Keaton Hall shares how fixing the historic dam is a high priority.
The city of Jenkins was recently awarded a $250,000 grant to fix a leak in the Elkhorn Lake Dam.
Past 20 years we've been trying to seek funding to, it's got a leak and just, general maintenance issues that needs to be fixed for a 111-year-old dam.
The dam, which was built in 1912 to power the coal industry, has had repairs in the past, but nothing this major.
Concrete being this old and just issues with concrete, and like I said, it's got a seep and a leak in it that's been monitored. We watch it closely to see if it gets any worse, but we're hoping to get that fixed and get it fixed up for another 100 years.
Jenkins Mayor Todd DePriest says stopping the leak now is important for the city's protection.
Well, all dams have some little leak in them. The major concern was if it started leaking quicker than we could keep up with it, then we would have to, move people out away from, and about 60% of the population and downtown is below the dam. So
DePriest says they are now in the first stages of hiring engineers to assess the dam.
We've already put out RFPs for the engineering firms to get them hired, and we want to get this done as quick as we can because this is phase 1 of the money, and after we get this piece done, then it'll go into phase 2, will be actual repairs and upgrades to the dam.
Once the dam is fixed and the lake is cleaned up, DePriest says they will focus on adding recreation, including a lake walk and fishing piers. In Letcher County, Keaton Hall, WIMT Mountain News.
Currently, the Elkhorn Lake Dam does not have the ability to lower water levels. DePriest says having that ability in the future is important in minimizing flood risk. FEMA is reimbursing the state for Western Kentucky tornado cleanup. The agency will pay more than $1.3 million. The money will cover about a month of debris removal done in the weeks after the storm in 4 counties. Normally, government share costs with FEMA. President Biden authorized FEMA to cover 100% of the costs because of the storm's historic impact. Letcher County is building housing that will be for flood victims only. The Whitesburg City Council decided which engineering company will be in charge of installing the sewage. Nesbitt Engineering will be working with the county and city to provide sewage for the housing plot. The mayor of Whitesburg says there were 5 bids, but they are happy with what they chose.
The final decision has been made once everything starts, and we talked to the county about when they want to begin the process. they will just get with my sewer superintendent, my wastewater superintendent, and he will then work over the plans with the engineers as to how we're going to go about starting the project.
The county is still in the pre-planning stages of the project at this time. A gathering in Floyd County today celebrated schools statewide, all finding common ground at the Groundswell Summit. WIMT's Buddy Forbes shares more from the event dedicated to education, innovation, and collaboration.
Students may be home for the summer, but educators are still.
This is all driven by what an individual or a group of individuals decide is needed most in their community to make a difference. And that's what's so exciting and authentic about what's happening here.
The Pritchard Committee hosted its 2023 Groundswell Summit Thursday at Floyd Central High School, bringing educators, students, and their families to the same stage to share ideas and celebrate innovation.
With things that we have going on, that if we add that one little piece that maybe another county, another school district has, how much farther that's going to take us for the next school year, and and all of it is for our students.
With the Great Schools Showcase, Hometown Achievers Spotlight, an awards presentation, and more, the event was all about sharing and spreading innovation in education, bringing those with the most investments to find the good and fill the gaps.
So those of us in the policy space, those of us in the education space, need to be really good listeners of what parents and students, families, are saying they need as they desire to move themselves and each other forward.
Offering a space for faculty and families to be a part of the lesson plan.
And so used to I felt like I had to push in, but now it's more an open door to come on in.
Saying with open doors come open eyes.
You will see that there is tons of things going on for our students, and there's so much opportunity that it's just picking which thing to do.
Planting partnerships where the ground's well. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WIMT Mountain News.
More than 25 districts were represented at the event, and Superintendent Anna Shepard says it was a blessing to serve as host, showcasing the region to the rest of the state. 6 principals in our viewing area have graduated from the year-long Kentucky Chamber of Commerce Foundation's Leadership Institute for School Principals program. The principals selected include Brandon Blackburn of Pikeville High School, Brent Collins of Wyan Pine Grove Elementary School in Laurel County, Edward Dixon of Louisa Elementary, Justin Arms of Johnson Central High School, Ashley Lemaster of Porter Elementary in Johnson County, and Kelly Abney of Menifee County Schools. For more information about the program, you can go to our website at WIMT.com. The Mingo County, West Virginia School District is making sure students are able to eat this summer, but the registration deadline is quickly approaching. For students not already participating in other federal summer feeding programs, the district is making meal boxes available for pickup. An important note, if you have more than one child, you must complete a registration for each child. For more information, you can go to the Mingo County Board of Education Facebook page.